The next thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss coming up with the equations for graphs of functions, and we're just going to work backwards. So we need to just find our key points of information. So I want to find the midpoint of the graph. The midpoint of the graph is halfway between the maximum and minimum. If the max is 2, minimum is -2, the midpoint is 0. So there is no vertical shift here. The amplitude of the graph is the distance halfway between the midpoint and the maximum. So 2 minus a minus 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. My period is equal to 2 pi over b. So now what I want to do is I want to calculate my b. So if the period is 2 pi over b, that means that b is equal to 2 pi over the period. 2 pi over 2 is just pi. So that's going to be my b in my equation. Last thing I want to do is this starts at the middle going up. So therefore it is a sine function. So I'm going to put all of this together. Amplitude of 2 times the sine of bx, so pi x, and it is shifted up 0. So my final equation is y equals 2 sine pi x. Next graph. Midpoint is 6. Amplitude is 10. Is minus 6, which is 4. My b is 2 pi over pi force. So those pi's cancel, which is leaving me with 8. It starts at its max going down. So this is a cosine function. So this one's been shifted up 6, scaled by 4, has a horizontal stretch, and it's a cosine. So amplitude, so I have 4 times the cosine of b x plus my midpoint, which is 6. The graph point is at -1. Its amplitude is the distance between -1 and 2, which is 3. This one starts at the middle, going down. So this is a negative sine function. My b is equal to 2 pi over 8, which is pi over 4. And that gives me the key pieces of information. So I get y is equal to negative sine of pi fourths minus 1. So you could actually use story problems to come up with these key points of information. My recommendation is you try to graph a full period of the function. And then once you graph a full period of the function, use these key points in order to come up with the equations from graphs or real-world situations.